All right, let's talk about the Rolex Datejust. Yep, that watch. The one everyone's seen, everyone thinks they know, but somehow still manages to surprise you when you actually wear it. It is almost 2026 now, and the world of watches has gone a bit mad. Microbrands are pretty much everywhere. You've got smartwatches doing all kinds of tricks, yet the Datejust keeps doing its thing. No gimmicks, no updates every 6 months, just that perfect mix of class, comfort, and history that still hits very hard. So I'll be honest, I used to overlook it. Thought it was a bit, let's say, too safe. But once you spend time with it, you start to get why it's basically the blueprint for what an everyday luxury watch should be. So what does a Datejust look like in 2026? Let's see and get started. Right, let's look at the hard facts first. The Rolex Datejust in its classic configuration measures 36mm in diameter, though lately the 41mm has become rather popular, but for now we're going to focus on the classic 36mm. With a height of 11.7 and a lug of only 43mm, it is rather slim and compact, but without it appearing too delicate, I would say. Lug is especially important for everyone who is unsure about what size to get when it comes to watches, because it is rarely the diameter of the watch that makes, a watch look too big or too small on your wrist, but actually it's the lug to lug. So it is the distance from one tip of the lug to the other. A good rule of thumb is a lug to lug of up to 46mm for wrists up to 150mm in circumference. So like mine, for example, and larger lug to lugs for wrists bigger than the 150mm. Datejust cases are usually full steel, though they are also available in solid gold. But for this video, we're sticking to the standard configuration of a full steel case with 904L steel on a Jubilee or an Oyster bracelet. The bracelet closes with an Oyster clasp with a very satisfying click. I love that sound so much. With a polished center and brushed sides to match the finishing of the bracelet to complete the look. If you've got the Oyster bracelet on a Jubilee, it looks a bit different. There's also a 5mm easy link built into the clasp, which lets you adjust your bracelet without using any tools, which is very nice. Kind of like you've got these half shoe sizes that you can, but adjustable depending on how tight or loose you need it to fit for your arm. And let's go to the next chapter and talk about the design. The Datejust is probably the one Rolex with the most design, or well, let's say configuration options. Like I already mentioned, you can get these in solid gold or as a mix, so in two-tone options between solid gold and stainless steel, as well as in different sizes as well. So on top of that, you can add like a gazillion different dial colors, dial finishings, plus the fact that you can also change the white gold fluted bezel, which is the very classic, the very standard look, to a more like subtle, I would say, a bit more modern domed steel one if you prefer, just an overall less sparkly look. What you can't lose though, unlike with the Submariner, because you've got that one with a date and a no date, is the date, obviously, hence the name Datejust. So that one always comes with a date and the magnifying lens with a 2.5 factor magnification at 3 o'clock. Same goes for the hands of the Datejust. This is and probably will always be a classic 3-hand layout with an hour, minute, and seconds hand, with or without looms depending on your configuration. Okay, now that we have covered the look and the design and we talked about the hard facts, we need to, of course, talk about the actual wearing of Datejust. I think that's the most important part, obviously. I myself can luckily speak from my own experience here, which is also a big part as to why I wanted to film this video, because I have been wearing my Datejust for the past 6 years and I can now confidently speak about its pros and cons, or more so the good and bad sides when it comes to wearing it on a day-to-day basis. So first, there's the overall comfort of the watch. Of course, it all starts with choosing the right size. Currently, my wrist measures 150mm in circumference, so the 36mm which I own would be the maximum size I would personally go for. Anything larger for myself would just hang over my wrist, and it's something that I find very uncomfortable. I know from a lot of other people that as soon as a watch hangs over your wrist, you bump into things with it because you kind of lose the sense of your own size on your hands, on your wrists. And that's just a good rule of thumb, I would say. When it comes to the bracelet, I can assure you that you won't find anything more comfortable than the Jubilee, thanks to the fact that you've got lots of these smaller links in a row, which easily adjust to the shape of your wrist. Which doesn't mean that the Oyster bracelet is uncomfortable, don't want to say that. Just that the Jubilee is, when compared directly, just a smidge ahead, and the Jubilee has another huge advantage, or say, benefit, which I feel like not enough people speak about. If you're someone like me, so someone who's trying to not scratch up their watch while wearing it, but failing miserably at that from time to time, I cannot recommend the Jubilee enough. Thanks to those smaller links and their shape, scratches, and just, overall signs of wear are far less visible on the Jubilee compared to the Oyster. I mean, I have an Oyster bracelet on my Oyster Perpetual, and if you would look too closely to this one, you would see all the scratches, and it's just horrible to look at. So yeah, anyways, therefore the Jubilee is a lot more flashy. It's definitely the option that you can choose if you want your watch to stand out a bit more. So you can not only adjust your Datejust in terms of like size and comfort, but also obviously about the looks with the bracelet options. So overall, the Datejust is not only a very comfortable watch, you can also easily control the final look thanks to the different bracelet options and decide on it depending on what type of watch wearer you are or want to be. Right, next up, I quickly want to touch on the movement and the complications, or let's say singular complication to cover that part. Built inside is the 3235, which has been in production for, I guess it's soon over 10 years now. So this one is well established, known to be extremely reliable with the 70-hour power reserve, featuring a chronology escapement and the date complication to fit the request of a Datejust. This Rolex in-house caliber is accurate with plus minus 2 seconds per day. A score measured after casing the movement. Of course, you also have a hacking second. This is a Rolex after all, to set the time easily, and an instantaneous date with rapid setting, so you don't have to like endlessly wind the watch to get to the correct date, which I very much appreciate. I think that's just a must with every modern watch, obviously. So, all right, what is the verdict on the Rolex Datejust in 2026? Honestly, it is one of those watches that just gets better the more time you spend with it. It's arguably not the flashiest Rolex. It's definitely not the rarest, and it is definitely doesn't one that screams for attention. But I think that's exactly what makes it special. It's that quiet sort of confidence that you only get from something that's been refined over decades by now and not redesigned every year. The Datejust is reliable, versatile, and comfortable in a way that almost feels like effortless. You can wear it with a t-shirt, you can wear this with a suit in the office or on vacation. I wore mine at my wedding, and it just works. It's that one watch collection people always talk about but rarely find. And of course, it's not perfect. It's expensive. It's still a Rolex, so there's that bit of a hype tax that's baked into this. And if you're after something, let's say, super edgy or modern, this isn't it. But if you appreciate timeless design, mechanical precision, and a watch that, just genuinely earns its place on your wrist, Datejust still delivers, maybe more than ever, I would say. So yeah, after all these years, the Datejust still holds up. It's not chasing trends, it's just being the Datejust, and honestly that's kind of the point. And after 6 years with my own Datejust, I can honestly say that this is one of those watches that just becomes yours. It doesn't try to impress you, it just fits into your life. And I would love to hear from you guys if you had the same experience, if you own a Datejust, what your thoughts about this is, what you like or dislike about them. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, subscribe to my channel, and then I will see you in my next one. Bye! Oh, love that. This is gonna be an ASMR channel from now on.